welcome to my second match in this 3.5 tournament we did back in April, and we were coming off from a pretty hot start. We won, I think, 15-4 or 15-6 or something like that. And now this is our second match, and the ball is flying, as you see here. And whenever I tell people who are playing tournaments, I always tell them, play the high percentage shots. Don't try to do anything fancy, because if you try to do anything fancy, you'll most likely mess up. So you gotta play your percentages. And I was popping the ball up way too high, and luckily the ball created an unforced error. And whenever the ball is popped up, I always tell myself, man, that's a bait ball. Bait ball meaning that you meant to do that for your opponent to hit to the net. Ooh, I was going for some Ernie's, and that's what I was telling you guys earlier. Like, if you try to do anything fancy, you'll create more unforced errors. But sometimes high rewards or high risk comes with the high rewards. So we're trying to do that, and that was a firefight. And man, this is back in April and this December right now, and I was popping up the ball so much. Ooh, what an Ernie! There you go. I was Well, that's like one of my goals in this tournament. But back to tournament play and mindset. And whenever you're playing tournaments, it's way different than you're playing open play. Let's say 3.5 in an open play. This is not does not equate to 3.5 during a tournament, because everyone's on their game, they're serious, and sometimes in open play you just mess around, you work on some shots, and ooh, what a smash! Keep them back. But yeah, so 3.5 in tournaments, maybe 4.0 during tournaments or in real life. But who knows? Some people, they might be sandbagging, and some people they're not sandbagging, or there's people out there who are just testing the waters. Like, hey, I don't know what level I am. I know I'm a little bit better than 3.0, but not 4.0 yet. So 3.5 is the way to go. And yeah, so see this point here. Ugh, popped it up way too high. Oh man, let's go. Oh, so many unforced errors on that end. Damn, our resets are good. Look at that. Unfortunately, at that previous point, didn't work to our favor. Working on the kitchen. Ugh. Oh, that was out. Ugh, I deserve that to be punished. But this is really cool watching film of yourself, because it shows you your habits and like what shots you shouldn't hit as often, and if it's a low percentage shots. I've actually learned a lot from watching myself when I play. Oh, what a combo! That is crazy. Those dinks that led to a pop up. Let's go. But yeah, I highly recommend you record yourself and watch it, because you could learn things about yourself, like, oh wow, that doesn't work, or that rarely works. There's certain shots that I know I do, but it's such a low percentage. I only hit it like 1 out of 10 times, but during open play, I don't know why I still try to hit it, but when I hit it, it's pretty cool. And one of the things that we're trying to reset back, a reset game is, oh, let's go. When you're up front or you're up the kitchen line, it's advantageous for you to keep your opponents back. No matter, don't try to concede to the kitchen line. Just keep them back as long as possible. Roll that ball, smash the ball. Even though they keep resetting the ball, just keep them back. And before, I think recently, I used to concede the kitchen. Then I watched the video saying that keep your opponents back. It's because it's advantageous, and And I've been doing that. I've been rolling the ball, focusing, just getting the ball in, keeping them back, and aim for their feet. And it's been pretty successful. As you see my most recent videos, like you'll see that. And one thing to note, I think I mentioned this in the last video, that what I would have, or what we would have done differently is, since my partner is left-handed, it's advantageous for us to stack, meaning that he should always be on the right side and I should always be on the left side. And knowing what we know now, back then I think we would have won this game. Oops. I spoiled it. But anyways, why am I swinging? But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I know at higher levels I would get punished for that. Playing in higher, that was, yeah, popping up those balls way too high. Ugh. Oh, so lucky. Let's go. So the difference between like 3-5 to 4-0 is the point construction. And sometimes when people are playing, they don't know where the shots are going or the ball is going. And then compared to higher levels, they know where that ball is going. And analyzing your opponent's patterns and recognizing it really quickly is advantageous for you to win the game. And again, my partner is, the reason being it's beneficial for us to stack is because we'll have 2 forehands in the middle, and it won't be as crazy. And let's say if you're against someone who doesn't stack and your partner is left-handed and you guys aren't in the right sides, I would dink to the middle as much as possible, because backhands are typically not as great as forehands, either if it's a forehand drive or a forehand dink. But yeah, so when you're facing someone who's stacking and they're not in the right position, dink to the middle until there's a pop-up. Ugh. What a good roll. So I think I mentioned this earlier too, that utilize your timeouts. Let's say your opponent is on a run, like a 3-point run, and you guys just aren't, you and your partner aren't in the groove of those series. Take a timeout. I've heard stories that people don't even take their timeouts. But timeouts are so crucial in tournament play because it could help you build momentum or even break their momentum. So, and another thing that people don't talk about, I feel, is that tournament play is also a mental game, or like pickleball in general, depending on what environment you're in. But during tournaments, man, me and my partner and I are yelling. We're like, yeah, let's go. You got to hype yourself up, even though you think it's annoying or unsportsmanlike. But if you look at tennis players or even like matches, they're like screaming. They're like, yeah, let's go. So I always recommend people hyping themselves up, obviously respectfully. Don't ever like insult your opponents. That is what I would never do. I would never insult, like, you suck, but I always try to hype my partner and I up, and it's been good, It just means that, like, you're into it, you're emotional, like, and sometimes, hyping yourself up, it intimidates your opponents, like, oh man, they're on a roll, like, you know what I mean? So, yell your come-ons, exaggerate your outs, even though it's super obvious. And a lot of, like, playing the game is also your body language. And you could tell who's, like, cool and composed. But, at the end of the day, you did your best. And I'm not saying you have to do those tactics. But just my point is that pickleball is also a mental game. So you got to You gotta mentally prepare yourself. Oh, let's go. And another thing too is when your opponents, or not your opponents, but if your partner is on a roll, let them take the ball. Like, they're on fire. So, oh, what a run. I think that was 2 3 points already. So, what a good series. I think no. That's game. So that's 15-14. They won. But this was a really exciting match. I want to rematch. Let's go.